Hi, it's Mrs. Arroyo, and today we are on day 2, telling time to the nearest hour on an analog clock. How would you solve this problem in your head? Go ahead and pause the video and solve 14 minus 6. You should have 8. 13 minus 11. You should have 2. Our daily learning target is, I can tell and write time to the nearest hour on an analog clock. Our standard is, tell and write time in hours and half hours using analog and digital clocks. Using the number cards below, organize them in a way that makes sense to you. So if you like the way they're in order, or if you would switch up the order, think about what you would personally do. So I like the order they're in. It goes from the hour hand pointing to the 4, then 5, and then 7. And that's a number order, 4, 5, 6, 7. It just skips 6. The minute hand stays on the 12. So I like the order that they're in personally. If the short hand on the clock is representing the hour hand, what hour is represented on each clock? Take a moment and write down your guesses. Pause the video. So going from left to right, the first clock we see shows 4 o'clock since the hour hand is pointing to the 4. The clock in the middle shows 5 o'clock since the hour hand points to the 5. And the clock all the way on the right shows 7 o'clock because the hour hand points to the 7. And all of these have a minute hand that points to the 12. Let's go over some clock vocabulary terms. The short hand on the clock is the hour hand. It will show you what hour of the time it is. The longer hand on the clock is the minute hand. When it is on the 12, it is 0 minutes into a new hour. What time is this clock right now? Take a moment and guess. So if you are looking at the hour hand, the short one circled in purple, you see that it's on the 3. So you should have a 3 written down in the hour section. Then when you look at the minute hand circled in red, you see that it's on the 12. When it's on the 12, it's 0 minutes into the new hour. So on the minute side with the 2 spaces, you should have a 0 and a 0. So it is 3 o'clock. Fiona's bedtime was at 8 o'clock. She said that the time on the clock was 8:12, so it was past her bedtime. Do you agree or disagree with her thinking? Take a moment and think about it. So I disagree with her. The only thing I agree with is that she's up past her bedtime. The first thing I see is that the hour hand is on the 9, not on the 8. And then the minute hand is on the 12, which does not mean 12 minutes. It means 0 minutes into the new hour. So the clock we're currently looking at shows 9 o'clock. So let's see what time it should show for 8 o'clock. So for 8 o'clock, the hour hand should be on the 8, and the minute hand should be on the 12, because it's 0 minutes into the new hour of 8 o'clock. When the minute hand is on the 12, it does not mean 12 minutes. It means 0 minutes. See, our hour hand is the short one, and our minute hand is the long one. Now it's time to check your understanding. The clock below shows Gary's lunchtime. What time does Gary go to lunch? Make sure that you remember that the hour hand is the short hand, the minute hand is the long hand. If you have any questions, need any extra work, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you for listening and learning. Bye-bye.